The Minister says fair price shops will be opened all across the country. Black marketers will be fined 3 times the embezzled amount. CIEDP reveals of list of people disappeared during Maoist insurgency. A total of 2,500 were disappeared by state. US and China trade barbs over coronavirus. Trump tweets calling the pandemic Chinese virus. And Euro 2020 postponed due to coronavirus, the football showpiece to be held in 2021. And now the news in detail. The Provincial Assembly meeting of Province 2 yesterday failed to choose a new name for the province and select its capital despite casting votes. Out of the 4 names proposed for the province, none of the parties could garner the required 2/3 majority votes to settle the issue. Province 2, which has 8 districts in southern Nepal bordering India, has long been struggling to find a new name and fix its capital. The ruling coalition of RJPN and Samajwadi Party in Province 2 wanted to name it as Madhes Province. Meanwhile, the Nepal Communist Party had proposed naming the province Janaki, while the Nepali Congress was for naming it Mithila Bhojpura. One dissident Congress leader had proposed the name as Madhya Madhes. Of the total 107 members of the Provincial Assembly, 60 voted for Madhes Province, 42 voted for Madhya Madhes, 37 members voted for Janaki and 28 lawmakers were in favor of Mithila Bhojpura. The ruling coalition's proposal for Madhes Province was short of 12 votes. The government is making preparations to operate fair price shops to curb black marketing and artificial shortages of essential goods. The government decided to operate these fair price shops after the rampant increase in black marketing and artificial shortage of daily goods in the market following the coronavirus scare. Speaking at a meeting of Industry, Commerce and Labour and Consumer Committee, Minister for Industry, Commerce and Supplies Lekhraj Bhatta informed that government will soon operate fair price shops to tackle black marketing. The fair price shops will make available all essential items at affordable prices and will be easily accessible, said the minister.
चाडपर्वमा खोलिने सस्तो सुलभ पसलहरू भनेर गरेको 2टा हाम्रा कम्पनीहरू विशेष गरी नेपाल खाद्य व्यवस्था कम्पनी र साल ट्रेडिङ तिनलाई चाहिँ अहिले तत्काललाई हामीले ती ठाउँहरूमा अलिकति सहज हुने जनतालाई र आवश्यक हामीले कोटा नै गरेर निर्धारण गरेर यतिसम्म दिने भनेर त्यो व्यवस्था गर्ने तयारी छ.
Minister Bhatta informed that an inspection team led by Chief District Officer in coordination with Home Ministry will be mobilized in all districts to curtail black marketing. Anyone found black marketing will be fined 3 times the embezzled amount, Minister Bhatta warned. The Commission of Investigation on Enforced Disappeared Persons has made public the list of people disappeared by both the state and then Maoist rebels during the decade-long armed conflict.
The Commission of Investigation on Enforced Disappearance Persons has for the first time revealed the list of 2,506 people who disappeared during the armed insurgency. The Commission was set up 5 years ago to investigate the cases of disappearance during the armed conflict. But even after 13 years since the peace accord was signed, the government has not been able to deliver justice to the victims. The Commission informed the list has been prepared based on complaints registered with the Commission since its establishment in 2015. Rukum and Rolpa districts that are considered as the base of insurgency, however, registered fewer complaints. Rolpa and Rukum have reported 97 and 45 cases of disappearance respectively. Bardia of Province 5 has recorded the highest number of complaints and tops the list with 255 complaints. Bardia is considered the most affected district after Rukum and Rolpa. Dang, also a district in Province 5, came second in the list after Bardia with 108 complaints of disappearance. Similarly, 77 complaints from Kanchanpur, 51 from Chitwan, 40 from Gorkha and Nuwakot each have been registered so far, according to the transitional body. Kathmandu and Kalikot have registered 32 and 24 cases respectively. The names of the complainants have, however, been kept confidential. Any information or evidence that supports the investigation on enforced disappearance person can be informed to the Commission, said Niranjan Ghimire, Communication Officer at the Commission. Information can be provided through the Commission's toll-free number 166001 22111 or by directly registering the complaint at the Commission's office, informed Ghimire. There is no limitation of time for making available the evidences. Such evidences can be sent anytime, Ghimire added.
This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. NCP's Executive Chairman Pushpa Kamal Dahal has called for a Secretariat meeting today. Chairman Dahal called the meeting after consulting with Prime Minister Oli about the situation regarding coronavirus. Prime Minister Oli will also take part in the meeting, which is scheduled to take place at Balwatar at 4 p.m. today. The last Secretariat meeting, which took place on March 1st, was called to announce Prime Minister Oli's decision to undergo kidney transplant surgery. Other two important issues on the agenda in the NCP Secretariat meeting are the MCC endorsement and Bamdev Gautam's entry into the National Assembly. District Administration Office Kabre Palanchok has enforced curfew in some areas of Panauti Bazaar since 9 a.m. yesterday. The curfew was in effect in an area up to 800 meters to the east of Panauti Bazaar, 1 kilometer towards Kushadevi in the west, 1 kilometer north towards Banepa and 1 kilometer to Bethanchok to the south. Chief District Officer Shravan Kumar Timalsina informed that the curfew was enforced to avoid any possible untoward incident after the situation turned violent following the death of a woman and her child in a tipper accident on Monday. A tipper had knocked down the pedestrian at Panoti's bus park on Monday afternoon. Both of them died while undergoing treatment in Banepa. The irate locals then turned violent, burning down a police post in Panoti. Police had to fire tear gas shells and rounds of bullets in the air to disperse the crowd. And now the news from the economic front. Nepal Oil Corporation has urged the general public to stockpile LPG cylinders to prevent unnecessary shortage in the market. A report.
The NOC officials reminded the public that LPG cylinders are highly inflammable and it is dangerous to keep a stock of these cylinders at home. The officials at NOC have reiterated that the import of petrol, diesel and LPG cylinder has not decreased and the import should easily cover the demand for these products. The department has also warned that traders who are found creating artificial shortage will have to pay fine thrice the amount swindled.
यसको स्टक भनेको व्यवसायको बुलेटको जति छ त्यही स्टक हो उहाँहरुको भने अनुसार उहाँले खाली गरिसक्नु थाहा छ हामीसँग स्टक छ जुन टिटीबाट आउँछ ल्याउने फिल गर्ने पठाउने स्थिति हो.
The officials also said there is no need to panic about the shortage of petroleum products despite the long queues of people at fuel stations. They asserted that there is no shortage of petroleum products.
ग्राहकले होल्ड गरेकै कारणले सिलिन्डर चाहिँ घरमै भएको कारणले समस्या भएको हो कि भन्ने चाहिँ हाम्रो आशंका छ. हामी मिलेर एउटा डेटा सिस्टम गराउने कसरी चाहिँ त्यो पत्ता लगाउने कहाँ कति सिलिन्डर छ भन्ने विषय हामी अझै यसलाई चाहिँ मसिनो ढंगले हेर्ने सल्लाह पनि गरेका छौं.
The NOC further added that stockpiling not only increases safety risk at home, but it also creates unnecessary problems for people who only have one cylinder at home.
पेट्रोलियम पाइपलाइनबाट तेल ल्याउनलाई पहल गर्नु पर्यो त्यो पाइपलाइनबाट तेल हामीले विभिन्न ठाउँमा पठाउने गरेका पनि छौं अझै बढाउनु पनि पर्यो र अहिले त्यो बाहेक स्थिति भएका अवस्था छैन.
The government has given serious warnings to anyone who is involved in black marketing, taking advantage of the coronavirus pandemic.
एक लाख सिलिन्डर मध्ये टेन्टेटिभ 40-50 हजार सिलिन्डर चाहिँ काठमाडौँ उपत्यका भित्रको चाहिँ खपत हो. अहिले हामीले जुन हिसाबले 28 वटा उद्योगहरूले चाहिँ काठमाडौँ भित्र मार्केटिङ गर्छन् ती 28 वटा उद्योगहरूमा चाहिँ त्यो अब 50,000 को दैनिकको हिसाबले चाहिँ ग्यास अब डिलरहरूले को मार्फतबाट उद्योगीहरूले चाहिँ ग्यास दिइरहेको स्थिति पनि हो.
However, some traders in the market have consistently been involved in creating pseudo-scarcities in the market.
Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. A spat between the US and China over the novel coronavirus erupted yesterday as US President Donald Trump angered Beijing by referring to the pathogen as the Chinese virus. According to AFP, the two countries sparred over the origin of the virus for days. The news agency reported that a Chinese official prompted conspiracy theories claiming it was brought to China by the US Army and the American officials using terms such as stigmatizing a nation. The United States will be powerfully supporting those industries like airlines and others that are particularly affected by the Chinese virus, Trump tweeted Monday night. The United States should immediately stop its unjustified accusations against China, Foreign Ministry spokesman Zheng Xuan told reporters. The war of words reignited diplomatic tensions between the two countries, which have tussled over trade and other disputes since Trump took office. Trump's comments were also criticized inside the US, with warnings it could incite a backlash against the Asian American community. The World Health Organization said more cases and deaths had been reported in the rest of the world than in China. The new coronavirus was first detected late last year in China's Wuhan. Authorities initially said its source was a live animal market in the central city of Wuhan, but China has sought to distance itself from the virus, saying the origin is still unknown, while seeking global goodwill by offering aid to countries facing serious outbreaks. Australian researchers said yesterday they had mapped the immune response from one of country's first coronavirus patients. According to Reuters, the Australian Health Minister said the findings were an important step in developing a vaccine and treatment for the deadly disease. The coronavirus has infected more than 168,000 people worldwide and killed at least 6,610, according to the World Health Organization. While the bulk of those infected experience only mild symptoms, it is severe or critical in 20% of the patients. The virus mortality rate is about 3.4%, the WHO has estimated. As scientists scramble to develop a vaccine, researchers at Australia's Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity said they had taken an important step in understanding the virus. By examining the blood results from an unidentified woman in her 40s, they discovered that people's immune systems respond to coronavirus in the same way it typically fights flu. The findings help scientists understand why some patients recover while others develop more serious respiratory problems, the researchers said. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Euro 2020 has been postponed by 1 year until 2021 because of the coronavirus pandemic. European football's governing body made the decision during an emergency video conference involving major stakeholders on Tuesday. The tournaments due to take place from 12 June to 12 July this summer will now run from 11 June to 11 July next year. In delaying Euro 2020, UEFA said it wanted to avoid placing an unnecessary pressure on national public services of its 12 host countries, as well as helping allow domestic competitions to be finished. UEFA President Alexander Cafferin said it was important that UEFA led the process and made the sacrifice, as it comes at a huge cost, but purpose over profit has been our guiding principle in taking this decision for the good of European football as a whole, BBC reported. International Olympic Committee member Hayley Wickenheiser says that plans for the Tokyo Games to go ahead are insensitive and irresponsible. On Tuesday, Japan's Olympic minister said the nation is still planning for a complete staging of the Games despite the coronavirus pandemic. On Saturday, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe claimed the Games would still go ahead, and on Tuesday that was followed by Olympic Minister Seiko Hashimoto saying the Games would go ahead as scheduled. IOC member Wickenheiser said that a complete Olympics meant that the Games would start on time and with spectators on attendance, something that will never be accomplished in the current scenario. I think the IOC insisting this will move ahead with such conviction is insensitive and irresponsible given the state of humanity, BBC quoted Wickenheiser as saying. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Province 2 fails to decide upon its name. Leaders disagree on provincial capital as well. Industry Minister says fair price shops will be opened all across the country. Black marketers will be fined twice the embezzled amount. CIEDP reveals a list of disappeared people. A total of 2,500 were disappeared by state and rebels. US and China trade barbs over coronavirus. Trump tweets calling the pandemic Chinese virus. And Euro 2020 postponed due to coronavirus, the football showpiece to be held in 2021. And that's all from the English news desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.